And yeah, I'll be your host for today. I'm also an organizer. I'm a co-organizer for Flutter Devs KE, Flutter Devs Kenya. And today we are very happy to host the guys from Truecaller. So to hear what they're going to talk about, mostly the Truecaller SDK. And yeah, I'm happy for the session. I'm very eager to learn new things I've never implemented before. I've never interacted with the Truecaller SDK before, but yeah, I hope I'm going to learn something new today. So I'm just also today's session we have a collaboration with Flutter Lagos and Flutter Zimbabwe. I'll just give an opportunity to a representative from Flutter Lagos so that he can say something. Anyone from Flutter Lagos who can just say something about before we start the event? Okay, Eric, can you please?
Hi, hello. I'm Eric. I'm the co-organizer for Flutter Developers Kenya. So I'll be assisting in hosting. It seems the lead for Flutter Lagos is not yet in the call, but we have Alista from Flutter Zimbabwe. So you can say something, Alista. Hello, Alista, are you there? Okay, it seems like they're having problems unmuting their mics. So today we'll be having a session about Truecaller Flutter SDK, and we have Erin Onyango is the developer relation manager for Flutter for Truecaller SDK. So Erin, if you can hear me, I'd like you to kindly unmute your mic and introduce the speakers to us, and from there we can start the session and proceed. Thank you. Over to you, Erin.
Hey, Eric. Am I audible now?
Hello.
Hello, yes. Am I audible? Oh, okay.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, great. So yeah, so thank you so much, Eric, for the introduction. Yeah, and I think as you mentioned, we are so honored to be part of today's event, and yeah, I'll just go straight ahead to introduce today's speakers. So we have Yogesh, who is the product owner at Truecaller, and then we also have Shubral, who is also a software engineer at Truecaller as well. So they'll take time to introduce themselves. But yeah, we are so glad to be part of today's event. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Irene. I think, should we start?
Yeah, sure, we can start.
All right. I think I'll just start by sharing my screen. Just give me a second. I hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yep.
All right.
Yes,
Cool.
to see your screen.
All right. Awesome. Let's start. So first of all, welcome everyone. I think a very warm welcome and a good afternoon to everyone. And thanks a lot for joining this session on a Saturday. Right. And I sincerely hope that everyone is doing great and staying safe during the pandemic era. Right. So before I proceed further, I think I'd like to extend a very special thanks to the Flutter developers Kenya community and the Legos and the Zimbabwe community as well. I think it's a great collaboration, and thanks to them for giving us an opportunity to be interacting with the dev community out there. Right. So today we'll actually be talking a bit about Truecaller SDK and how developer community can use Truecaller SDK with their Flutter applications. So I'll quickly start with a brief introduction about ourselves. I think so. This session is being jointly hosted by Shubral and myself. So I'm Yogesh, and I work as a product owner at Truecaller, and I take care mostly after the product side of things at the Truecaller for developer teams here at Truecaller. And along with me, Shubral, who leads our Android development for the Truecaller SDK, and he has also been the core member who has been working on all things, but basically all the things related to the SDK, and who's also the one who has built the Flutter version for our SDK from scratch. So at Truecaller for developers, our vision is actually to create a developer ecosystem around mobile number based identity as the core, and we are basically facilitating services which businesses can consume, and these services are all the services which we are exposing using Truecaller as a base platform. Right. So we'll be talking more about as we progress through the session. But we have also mentioned our coordinates here in the presentation. So in case anyone wants to catch up or has any questions or want to chat about anything, we'll be more than happy to do so. Right. So yeah, before we dive deep into the session, let's just take a minute to actually highlight what we'll be covering, what all topics we'll be covering in today's session. We'll start with a quick intro about Truecaller and basically how mobile number is becoming the primary identifier for our for basically user identity, specifically in the emerging markets. And then we'll discuss briefly about user onboarding and verification practices. And from there, I'll try to cover on some pointers about how the Flutter ecosystem has evolved very recently and very rapidly in the last few years. And then finally, Shubral will guide us all on how we can leverage the Truecaller platform in achieving the same, basically in how to leverage the Truecaller's mobile number ecosystem, and how developers can start using Truecaller SDK for your mobile applications built using Flutter. And post that, we'll open up for a Q&A session. So to start with, I think I'll just like to throw some light about Truecaller. Some of you might already know Truecaller is the world's largest caller identification and a spam blocking application. We help you identify unknown callers and block spam calls, eventually helping you save your time. We are solving a very simple but a very common problem in today's time, which is actually very prevalent, especially in the emerging markets. And today, if you see, a lot of people receive a lot of spam calls and fraudulent calls, which not only waste their times, but could eventually lead to a huge monetary loss as well for the user. So that's where we are trying to solve this problem and make the communication more safer for our user base. And as of today, we have crossed around 500 million plus app installs globally. And we have more than 250 million plus active users who are using the app day in and day out for multiple use cases. We are also backed by some of the world's most prominent investors, including the likes of KPCB, Sequoia, and Atomico. And we started our journey almost 10 years back, wherein we started with a simple use case of caller identification and spam blocking. And during our journey over the last more than decade, we have actually evolved into a full-fledged communication platform. And we have evolved into multiple use cases, right from messaging and various solutions for businesses. And the entire idea or the entire vision of Truecaller is to provide a trusted and secure platform for people to be able to communicate with each other. Right. And talking about our presence, we are a global team of more than 200 people, and we have offices situated in various parts of the world. Our global headquarters is in Stockholm, which is a small city in Sweden. And we also have our second biggest office in India, which is also happens to be our biggest market globally. And we also have a good presence in African market, and basically followed by India. Our biggest global markets are Egypt, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, etc. And we also have our official presence there in terms of our office presence. Right. Now moving on to the next section, basically, let's talk a bit about how mobile number has evolved as the primary identity for users, and how businesses are quickly adapting to the new paradigm, and accordingly how businesses are trying to solve for multiple use cases for their users. Right. So if I talk about the new users, basically the next next billion users who are trying digital services for the very first time, who are coming online for the very first time, we have seen a gradual and shift from email as an identity to mobile number based identity. So these new to internet users, how we define them, do not really understand what's the meaning of email ID or how an email inbox works. So because they have kind of skipped that era, the email based era that was very prevalent in the yesteryears. But as of today, what they do is they'll just procure a device, they'll get started with a SIM card, they'll get their mobile identity and directly onboard and consume services on their mobile devices. So that's where, and these users might not really understand what email is. They'll directly move to mobile number and they'll directly use mobile for all sorts of communication and availing any kind of digital services online. So this is the masses, which is the next set of the billion users to whom businesses want to cater to. And for these users, it is very essential that businesses understand that the mindset of these users and accordingly help them onboard onto their platforms and services. Right. So just I said a while back, so today everything revolves around the mobile phone. Your mobile device and your mobile number is the foremost means of communication for anything you do, right from browsing any new application or a service, or to make a transaction, and even all the last mile communication, they happen via your mobile number or your mobile phone. And your mobile device acts as the first point of accessing any digital service, and it also acts as the last touch point where you finally transact and leave the service. Basically, you fulfill the use case that you initially started to go about with. And if we actually look around and reflect on various categories which are there, so all the experiences are tied with mobile number. It could be entertainment, it could be food, it could be banking, it could be shopping, or it could be any home service or financial needs. For each and every category or each and every use case, ultimately the users are able to avail those services and are able to experience those services using their mobile devices. And that's where mobile devices or mobile number has been taking over the entire market, and it is becoming the new communication means for all the users. And that's where while we are talking about it, the user onboarding experience is also one of the very important crucial factors. And so let's talk a bit more about how we can build some good onboarding experiences for our users, and what all things a business should actually keep in mind while they're trying to onboard the new to internet users onto their platform, and how they sorry, and how they can actually onboard those users with a happy mindset. So what exactly is mobile app onboarding? We have been using this word a lot in the past few minutes, but what exactly do businesses or do we technically mean by mobile app onboarding, right? So onboarding is nothing but the process of getting your new users to understand and engage with your app, and you need to engage them enough so as to keep them using it instead of abandoning the app or your websites after the first usage. So onboarding doesn't simply mean that having a user to try out your app. It actually imprints the first impression in their minds, and in most of the cases it can actually be the last impression as well, and it can decide the retention of users on your platform. So to put it very simply, we can actually define onboarding as a journey of transitioning your users from saying, oh, okay, let me just try out this service, this looks let me just try out how this works. And eventually your end goal should be to transition your users from this kind of a mindset to, oh, hey, this is a very brilliant service and everyone should try it out. And eventually letting your user base promoting your application to their via your word of mouth, and eventually leading to an organic growth. So this is the kind of impression that an onboarding can set on your user base, and businesses should always strive to provide such onboarding experience that the users, become your organic promoters for your platform. And just a second. Yeah, and the success of your mobile app actually depends, very heavily on how good or how easy the onboarding experience has been for your users. Like, businesses spend huge marketing dollars on user acquisition, but ultimately all of that would actually go in vain if the users drop off during the onboarding stage itself. And every user loss is a potential revenue loss for a business. So let me, just take a minute to actually talk about few onboarding principles or few things that businesses should actually keep in mind while, you are building application for your user, for the next billion users. So first is give users what they want quickly and hassle free. Your ideal onboarding flow or the verification flow should not consume a lot of time or should not demand a lot of time from your user base, and it should be very simple and easy to understand for your users as well. If it's too complicated, they might not understand and they might eventually drop out of your application. Second is comfort and security level. So I, being a new user and I am not really familiar with your service, so it is very important for the business to actually provide that comfort level and assurance that, hey, they are transacting on a secure platform, and whatever information or whatever exchange of data is happening is very secure. So users should feel very comfortable while trying out your application, and they should not be very concerned that, hey, what happens, should I be sharing any personal information, should I be sharing any profile information with this particular app. So you need to give that sense of comfort and security to your user base. Then the third point being the product value, which is, while you are onboarding the users on your platform, it is always recommended that you do a gradual onboarding, show some contextual tips, or show some coach marks to the user that, hey, they are able to understand how to navigate through your application. Because for me, it could be a totally new platform, totally new experience, and I might not be a very tech savvy user. So it's very crucial that your users understand how to actually use the platform and how they can actually end up fulfilling the use case they wanted to, when they actually started using your app or your website. Preview some content, and again, this is in continuation of my previous point, that the user should be able to realize the value or realize the importance, and get a sense that, hey, whether they can fulfill the use case that they are sorting after. And now coming to the one of the most crucial factor of the entire onboarding flow, which is the user registration or the verification step. This step actually challenges your users to confirm their identity before they are granted access to your application. And this is usually done via email or mobile number. And in emerging markets specifically, like I discussed in my previous slides, mobile number are actually taken over as the precedence, and it is the mostly used identifier. And so it's absolutely necessary for your application to have a very simple and a very clear registration flow. So this is actually some metrics from a user experience research study which was conducted by Clutch. So it revealed actually, that the percentage of users getting frustrated while registering on your app is directly proportional to the time taken for them to be able to complete that step. And as you can see, right, the users would mostly be happy if the time taken for them to register lies in the range of anywhere between 30 to 60 seconds. And it becomes increasingly frustrating for the users if the time taken increases more than a minute and so on. And if you can see, if the users actually have to spend more than a minute or two to just onboard or to verify themselves, it's given that almost 60 to 70% of users are probable to drop off, and eventually it's a huge revenue loss for your business. So it's very crucial that you take care of all these aspects while actually building your onboarding flow, right? And just to summarize what I discussed so far, your user registration flow or your verification process should be as simple as possible, and you should only be asking the information which is absolutely needed for the user to be able to avail your service. And you should always try to keep it very short and simple. The number of steps should be kept to a minimum, and you should always try to have some sort of personalization so that the users feel comforted while they are navigating through your application. And lastly, also try to ensure that the app's verification flow is optimized to perform in, very as expected in even poor network conditions as well. So now that I have covered a bit about, some of the onboarding principles developers should keep in mind, I'll take a few minutes to actually talk about how we at Truecaller are trying to help businesses solve few of these challenges, and how Truecaller actually fits into the picture to help businesses optimize, their onboarding flow, and how businesses can build using Truecaller's mobile number based identity and ecosystem. Right. So that's where, while we were a couple of years back, while we were starting to open up our developer ecosystem, we got in touch with a lot of developers, and we realized a single pain point that was common across multiple apps and platforms, which was the number-based verification system. So there were a lot of challenges, in a typical OTP-based number verification, and that's where businesses wanted to work with us, that hey, how can Truecaller actually help the businesses solve their user verification problem and provide a seamless way of verification. And that's where we came up with this product, which is today known as Truecaller SDK, which is a one-tap number-based verification solution, and it can be used by app developers and mobile website developers across. So since Truecaller already has a large 250 million plus user base of verified users who have the Truecaller app on their devices, and they are using the app day in and day out. So that's where we thought that how can businesses, actually, so we build this product that businesses can actually leverage the already verified identities of these users and help the users onboard onto their platforms in a single tap. They don't have to do any manual efforts. They don't have to, manually enter any details or wait for an OTP, and all their verified information are shared with the business in a totally consented manner. So only once the users give their consent, we share the information back with the businesses. And again, it reduces the entire onboarding funnel. The typical OTP based verification flow, which used to take anywhere from 60 to 90 seconds and even higher, is reduced to less than 15 to 20 seconds of the entire time. Right. And just talking a bit about how the traditional mobile number based identity is actually broken. So there are multiple hops. Like, first of all, the user has to enter the mobile number, then you have to send the OTP SMS, then there could be cases of failure or retries. Then finally, once the verification is done, you need to ask for the user profile information manually, and then ultimately you are able to onboard the user. So there are a bunch of hops here, and SMS delivery is largely unpredictable in emerging markets. Then all these steps lead to user drops and abandonment, and it also affects in increased cost for your businesses. And that's where Truecaller SDK comes into the picture and helps developers leverage on the scale that Truecaller has and minimize these friction. So here I have taken an example of Little Cab, which is one of the leading ride-hailing application in Africa, and they have been using Truecaller SDK for a while now. So if you see, the flow is very simple. I as a user come to open up the Little app on my phone, and at the step of verification, I see a small verification screen which already has my details pre-filled, like including my name, mobile number, and the other details also which are shared. And the user has the context that hey, he's trying to log into Little, and these are my verified details. So as soon as the users click on continue, they'll be the profile details are shared with the business, and the user is onboarded onto the application. Now, taking another example, so BigBasket is one of India's leading grocery brand, and they have over 1 billion in gross merchandise value, right? So they also have been using Truecaller SDK to solve the same problem, the user onboarding and the verification step, and they have seen some good results with Truecaller SDK. So 64% of their users actually, are checking out daily without having to go through the typical OTP process, and they are verifying in a one-tap flow using Truecaller. And since the time they started using Truecaller SDK, they have seen almost a 15% increase in successful card to checkout ratio, and overall a 16% reduction in the cost of user verification. So this is the kind of success metrics that they have seen when they partnered with us. So to summarize, with Truecaller SDK, what you achieve actually, it's super simple and frictionless for your users to be able to access your product. You are able to activate more users by reducing the steps and the time spent across various touch points. It could be a login, it could be a checkout, or it could be a sign up, depending on the use case your application has. The same flow can be reused across multiple touch points. And the best part of all of this is that the entire proposition, the entire verification via the Truecaller SDK is completely free of cost, and there is no limit on the usage or no setup fees whatsoever. So the entire solution is actually free of cost, available to the developers to be able to use, and hence we are enabling you to minimize your user onboarding costs. Now, talking a bit about the Flutter ecosystem and why we actually chose to build for the Flutter ecosystem. So Flutter is actually what is Flutter? So Flutter is actually a platform which was launched by Google, and it enables the app developers to maintain a single code base and build applications for multiple platforms, for Android, for iOS, or for websites. So they don't have to, they can reuse most of the code components and actually build applications in a single code base. And Flutter underlying, it's using a programming language called Dart. And since the inception of Flutter, I think it was around 3 or 4 years back, this early 2018, when Flutter actually started coming into the market and saw some adoption. So it has gained a decent traction. It has gained a good positive feedback from the developer ecosystem. It is very high performing framework and very efficient. And the best part being that developers are able to provide the native experience to their users. So there is technically no difference in building an application with Flutter or using your native Android or iOS code base. So that's the best part, and that has led to a huge adoption for Flutter as a framework amongst the developer ecosystem. Right. And just talking about the grow in adoption for Flutter, as you can see, since the very first version 1.0, which was publicly available in early 2018, the blue line that you can see here, that shows the rise of Flutter, and that shows how Flutter has actually overtaken the other popular frameworks which are available. And as of today, if we talk about, so more than 500,000 developers actually use Flutter monthly. And if I talk about the overall base, more than 2 million developers have actually used Flutter since its inception, and the number is ever going. So this is just the start, and I think in the future time we'll see more and more developers actually transitioning to Flutter as a platform, and using Flutter to develop and maintain their application. And that's where, as a feedback we got from the developer community, that hey, how can Flutter developers use Truecaller SDK with their application? And we listened to our community, and that's when we decided that hey, we'll invest in Flutter, and we'll also bring up a version of our SDK which developers can easily integrate with their Flutter applications. Right. And now to talk more about our Flutter SDK and how developers can start using the SDK with their Flutter applications, I like to invite Shubhran, and he'll guide us through the entire process and walk us through how we can use the Flutter SDK. Shubhran, over to you.
Right. Thanks, Yogesh. Thanks, Eric, Sam, and everyone for giving us an opportunity to speak about Flutter SDK, which is being launched by Truecaller recently, and which any developer can leverage on their product to basically enable a frictionless and a very seamless onboarding experience. So let me just go ahead and share my screen quickly, and I'll give you a walkthrough in terms of how you can essentially integrate Flutter SDK into your application. So can you guys see my screen now? Awesome. So without any further ado, I just give you a brief context of of our presence on different platforms. So at the moment, you can essentially use Truecaller SDK on not just on Android or iOS, but also on mobile web, React, and now also on Flutter. So I'll give you a walkthrough on Flutter today. So I'll start from the very basic, and I'd like to give you a quick demo and a live implementation of a sample application as well today. So so as the first step with any package that you want to do, so you just search for Truecaller, and you just see there are a bunch of packages which are available there, but you need to make sure that you're integrating the right one. So in order to figure out the right one, you need to see the one which has the verified publisher marking over there. So this is the one that I'm gonna use today. So essentially I'll be on your side today, and I'll basically as a developer I'll integrate Truecaller's Flutter SDK. But before deep diving into integration, I just wanted to talk about a couple of important things here. So that you need to keep in mind. So so the Flutter, the Truecaller SDK for Flutter essentially uses Truecaller Android SDK, which means that you would only be able to use this as a Flutter package for Android at the moment. So it's essentially just an MVP for us to try and test it out, how how quick the community is able to use and leverage this solution of ours. And once we have attained a certain numbers, we'll go ahead and open it up for iOS as well, so that it becomes very easy for the fellow developers to just integrate one SDK and be get going with the entire onboarding process in terms of phone number verification. So so without any ado, let me just go ahead and start a new Flutter project, and we'll just integrate it quickly. So let me just call this as Flutter Africa demo app. So I'll use Kotlin, Android X, and all that stuff. Cool. So I plan to actually use this demo with a very basic UI, which has just a button, which essentially just inflates the consent stream. And once the user takes any action, whether he continues or dismisses, there'll be a message with the appropriate result, which will be shown below that button. So I'll just do that once this Gradle finishes. Awesome. So let me just go ahead and remove all of these things. Okay. Awesome. So it'll be a simple, we'll just keep a simple column which will have a button and a text view. So let me just go ahead and create a material button. We can keep a child with the text as, let's say, login with Truecaller. Let's give it a color. Let's say orange. Awesome. And below this button, I'll just show a text, which would be some, let's say, Awesome. So we'll just, what we'll do is we'll just update this message. And for that, we'll just create a new method, which will take in a new message. And what we'll do is we'll just set state. And in that set state, we'll just update this message with a new message. Awesome. Awesome. So let me just go ahead and just play this in, and we'll see how this looks like. Cool. So let me just go ahead and just implement the SDK. So as the first step states, you just need to update your PubSpec YAML with Truecaller SDK. So let me just go ahead and do that quickly. We'll go to PubSpec. And we'll just paste the dependency over here. And we'll do a pubget. Awesome. So what's the next step? Okay, so we need to generate the app key as the next step, which will identify your partner app, uniquely. And for that, you need to just go to the developer's account page, and you need to generate that. So I'll just go to this page, and I'll add a bunch of information. Let's call it Flutter Africa demo app. And I need to enter the package name and the SHA-1 key. Let me just find my package name. And for SHA-1, there's a very simple step that you need to, you can just see here how you can generate, your app key. It's very, very simple. So I'll just go ahead and do that for you as well. So you just open this module in Android Studio. You go to the Gradle, go to Android, go to task, Android signing report, and boom, you have your SHA-1 key generated right there. Awesome. So I'll have this. So one thing to keep in mind as well is that a Truecaller SDK essentially enables two types of verifications. One is for verifying Truecaller users, and the other one is for verifying non-Truecaller users. For verifying non-Truecaller users, it's not applicable outside of India at the moment. So you're not concerned with generating a retriever hash code, which is essentially for auto reading the SMS. So you can skip this step and just add the application, which will just generate a partner key for you. And you just need to click on continue, and there you go. You have your app key, just copy it. And as the next step states, you need to just add a metadata to your Android manifest with that partner key. So let me just go ahead and add a metadata. This was my partner key. This is my metadata. Awesome. Just gonna paste it here. Awesome. So we are done with step 2 as well. What's the step 3? Step 3 is we need to head over to the main activity, and we need to do two things here. So first thing is we need to extend the main activity with a Flutter fragment activity. And the other thing that we're going to do is we need to override the configure Flutter engine, which essentially binds our Flutter application with the Flutter engine, which is there in our Flutter SDK for Truecaller. So let me just go ahead and perform these two steps in the main activity as well. I'll just go ahead and open up the main activity. So by default, you see it's extending your Flutter activity. So just extend it with Flutter fragment activity, clear the unused imports. And the second step was just overriding this main method, this configure Flutter engine method. Just go ahead and do that. And I'll just import the dependencies here. Import. Awesome. This is done. So I can just close this Android module now, since we are done with Android related things. And awesome. So this is an optional step. You essentially need to override the launch mode of your main activity to single task. So I think by default, Flutter has, I think, single instance, or I think, what's the one? Let me just check it. It's single top. So you just need to make it to single task in order for, Truecaller SDK to function in background. If let's say you have some other application which is open on top of Truecaller, and your application goes in background, so that leads to unwanted behavior. So in order to fix that, you need to make this change, and you need to override launch mode, change it from single top to single task, and you're good to go. What's the fourth step? Fourth step is adding required permissions, which we are not concerned with, since permissions are required for verifying non-Truecaller users, which is not applicable outside of India at the moment. So I think in terms of setting up the project, we are all good to go now. So as you can see in the documentation, we have two examples. First example is to verify Truecaller users, and the second example is to verify both Truecaller users and non-Truecaller users. So we are not concerned with the second example at all. This is the example that we're concerned with, and it's pretty straightforward and easy to use. So as the first step, we need to import the package into our main.dart file. So I'll just go ahead and do that. All right. What's the second step? Second step is initializing the SDK with SDK option as without OTP. So like I said, currently you can verify only Truecaller users. So there are at the moment there are two options in SDK, which is SDK option with OTP and without OTP. So we are not going to use with OTP here, since like I said already, you are not, you won't be able to verify non-Truecaller users outside of India. So let me just go ahead and initialize the SDK in init state. Yep. All right. So we have initialized the SDK here. So once you initialize the SDK, what's the next step? The next step is checking the usability. So what SDK does is it tells you upfront whether the SDK is usable or not, so that you can fall back to, let's say an appropriate login mechanism. Let's say I'm using, any other, login service apart from Truecaller. So in case someone does not have a Truecaller installed on their device, or for some reason they are logged out of their app, or for any reason you are getting is usable as false, you just fall back to some other mechanism, and you don't go ahead and, you just take that as a fallback option. So how you can check that is you can just check the is usable method. So and in that you can just once you check whether the Truecaller SDK is usable or not, you can go ahead and call the get profile method, and what that will do is that will just inflate the consent screen on top of your application. So let me just create a new method for this and call it get user profile. And what I'll do is I'll just call this method from on the press of that button. So that's why I created this method. And instead of printing not usable, what I'll do is I'll just update the message to not usable. Awesome. Okay, so I need to just call this method on press of the button, and I'll just call get user profile. Awesome. So what we are doing right now is we have created a button. We'll show a message at the bottom. On press of that button, we'll just call get user profile, which will just inflate the pop-up. Awesome. So that pop-up is now getting inflated, but how do I read the result of the user action that has been taken on that consent screen? So in order to do that, what you need to do is you need to create a stream subscription, which will just continuously listen to the stream callback data and, push it to your main.dart file. So you can just create a stream subscription here. So I'll create a new method for that as well in a stream subscription. Just paste it here. Awesome. So I have created this, and this will going to parse the result. And instead of printing all the things here, I'll just update it in my text view. Let's say I'll just print the first name of the user. Awesome. So this is the case of success. So what this callback does is it gives you three kinds of results. So first is Truecaller SDK result dot success. The other one is failure, and the third one is verification. So failure, what happens is, in case, let's say you have initialized your SDK, and after you have initialized the SDK, the user, let's say, gets logged out of his Truecaller app, or let's say your app is opened up in background and user has uninstalled Truecaller. So what happens is that is usable will not work in that case, because you've already initialized it in your init state. But since at the time of, since this callback listener is working in background, it will continuously listen to the state of, the Truecaller app, and it will tell you that, hey, Truecaller app has been uninstalled, or, it won't give you the desired result. So you need to fall back to some other mechanism. So this is where you need to handle it with the, and it will tell you, the appropriate error code, so you can understand what for due to which reason did the failure happen. So in order to check out all the error codes, you can essentially check out our documentation on, and you have all the error keys over here. Yeah. So one stands for network failure, similarly two for user pressback. So you have all of these listed here. So you can just see the latest error codes, and, just for analytics purpose, or just to determine what was the reason of the failure. So you can just go ahead and use that. So let me just go ahead and update the message with the error code here. And that will be a string. Awesome. Verification, your callback would never go to the verification, since we are using without OTP. So this callback essentially means that when you need to manually verify the users. So that won't be the case for, for developers or products outside of India. So you're not concerned with this. So your callback will never go to verification, since we're using without OTP. So we can just leave this as it is. And I think we're good to go. So let's just go ahead and try this out. And I'll just play this quickly. And I'll just go ahead and do this last step, which is just for, clearing up any kind of, subscription that is already existing. So in your dispose lifecycle method, you can just go ahead and cancel the subscription as well. So this is that's it. So this is the last step, and it's very, very straightforward to implement. Okay. Okay, so the color, let me just change the text color to colors. Right. Awesome. So let's just test it out. Do we have anything in the log? Did I miss some step? So we have a stateless widget, blah, blah, blah. We have a Steam subscription. We are updating the message. A new message. We are initializing the SDK. We're calling get profile. Wanted to give a heads up. So if you want to check out the sample implementations, you can also go to our GitHub page, which is there on pub.dev, and you can just hover to the GitHub repository, and you can check out the examples that we have. So in order to check out the example, just go to the example module, and here you will see there are two examples. So one is with all the customizations that are possible. So obviously there could be product related, customization that you want to, just do on top of the consent screen. Let's say I want to change the CTA color, text color, or the prefix options. I want to change the text essentially. So there are some predefined options for some of these, but for colors, you can just provide any color and you would be good to go. So you can just test it out. So there are customizations based on different UIs. So at the moment, there are 3 UIs which you can use. So one is bottom sheet, the other one is pop-up, and the third one is full screen. So you can just test it out, run this. I'll also give you a walkthrough of this, sample application as well. So once, let me just test this out. Awesome. Yeah, there were some hiccups. Yeah, it's working fine now. So I tapped on it multiple times. So you just want to make sure that, you disable the tap as soon as user taps on it. So I click on login with Truecaller, you see a bottom sheet consent screen. And as soon as I click on, use, I'll just, it will just print my first name and the last name. For some, it should have updated the text. Calling update message, I'm calling update message here as well. Is it working for script? No, it's working for this. It's not updating the message. Setting the state. I'm printing it here as well. My bad. Never mind. Let me just go ahead and check the other example that I just created. So this is the other example that we have included as part of our Flutter package that you can just head over to our GitHub page and check out. So here what you can do is just test out all the bits of customizations that are possible over here. Let's say I want to change the footer to use another method. I want to change the color to, let's say deep orange. I don't know, I'm just fantasizing that color. So you can just change the color. You see that it's changed to deep orange, and as well as the footer method, which used to say skip, it has changed to use another method. So it's very simple. As soon as you just continue, it will just share all the profile information with you, and you can just fetch it and store it on your server, on your database. So it's pretty straightforward over there. So similarly, there's another UI options, which is the pop-up mode. So you can just go ahead and try it out. This is the pop-up mode. And similarly, there's a full screen mode of the consent screen as well. This is the full screen mode. This is how it looks. So based on your requirements, it's very subjective. We've tried to accommodate as many possibilities as possible. And it's just an evaluation game, essentially. We are trying to iterate over the product since a couple of months, and we've come out with bottom sheet with a hell lot of customizations. So just go ahead and try it out and let us know your feedbacks on the same. So yeah, Yogesh, can you move to the next slide?
I think, yeah, pretty much that was it. We can probably now open up for the Q&A. Maybe you can stop sharing, and maybe Eric or Sam, you could moderate in case there are any questions. We can take them up now.
Okay, thanks so much for the presentation. Any question from maybe the attendees, the people who attended the meeting, the event today? If you have any question, I see you have a question from Jadav. I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly, but yeah, let's just see. You can just ask Yadav.
Hi, Ali. Thanks for allow me to give this time. Hi, Saurabh. Thanks for giving the talk. I have a question regarding the issue. Whenever applicant will be in background mode, and if we need to check the SMS service, read the SMS directly from our native service, and how we can use it.
Can you repeat? I lost your voice in between. Can you repeat?
Sure. Now is audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is whenever the applicant will be in backend, right? That means in backend stack, another applicant will be open. And in that case, if we need to check, receive the SMS or any call or something that, or something like a OTP or verification code, right? So in that case, how we can retry or receive a particular message or a call number or any profile details.
So your app is in, so if I understood your question correctly, your app is in background, and you need to, you're trying to retrieve, you're trying to essentially verify the user. Is that,
yeah, that is we need to get the all information based on the number. If we get any verification code or anything, but it is in background, not in a front state.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we manage this? Is there any way in Truecaller SDK that we can get the information on background stack as well?
I'm not sure. I'm still not sure. I'm not able to understand your question. Can you give me an example? I think that would be.
Suppose you have an OTP verification thing or something that if you register with some application, right? At that time you're getting a mobile number, and then after you need to verification. But when we receive the SMS, that time your applicant will be not in front end. That means it is in a stack, right? So how we can directly read the particular SMS in our applicant throughout the using a Truecaller SDK or any other way. If we are verification code will be success, then directly the process of the mobile number we getting the user profiles.
So I think what I understood is you are trying to verify the user in the background. So I think I like to highlight a couple of points. One is this Truecaller SDK can be used to verify those users who have the Truecaller application installed on their devices and they have their profiles created. So there won't be any kind of OTP sent whatsoever, and the user doesn't need to enter their details. So the way it works is that you will have to invoke the SDK, and the SDK will communicate with the Truecaller app and show the users the consent screen, and wherein their details are already pre-filled. And as soon as the users grant their consent, the user profile information is shared back to your application. So one, the users don't need to manually enter any details. Second, there is no OTP sent whatsoever.
No, I'm not asking about the OTP. I'm just giving the example. Saurabh cannot understand. That's why I know. Okay, so that's
unfortunately the Truecaller, we do not have a way in which if it's in background and we can help you read the OTP. So unfortunately, we do not have any mechanism as such within the SDK.
Okay, so if this application or this package only work if the Truecaller application already installed in mobile, otherwise it's not working, right?
Yes.
Okay, right. So it's paired with the only Truecaller applications.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Okay. I have a question from.
So someone pointed out in the chat.
Who is asking?
Yeah, just a second. Someone pointed out in the chat the mistake that I was doing there. So let me go ahead and share my screen again, just to finish up where I started. So what the mistake that I was doing was I did create a method for listening to the subscription, but I did not put that in the init state. So that's the reason why we were seeing an empty text. So if I play it again, so you see that I will receive my first name here. So that's there. So if I skip it, it will tell me the error code is 14 because I've denied, the basically, verification over there. Or if I press back, I will get the error type as 2. So it's all there. So this was the mistake that I was doing. So just to wrap things up quickly, I'll just cover it up again. So first step was you just need to import the package. Second step is you initialize two things. first thing is you initialize the SDK, and the second thing is you initialize the subscription, which will listen to your get profile, the action that is taken on get profile. So when you initialize the SDK, what happens is that you can provide a bunch of customizations over here. So you saw the color, that was I changed it to deep orange and all of that stuff. So you can change that in the initialization, during the initialization itself. So you can find all of those here itself, and it's pretty well documented. So you can check out which particular attribute does what. And if you want to see, the entire customizations, what all scopes are available, so you can check out them in the Truecaller SDK scope as well. So these are the footer options that you can use. You can change it to skip, continue, none, or anything else. You can change the type of consent screen, which is pop-up, full screen, or bottom sheet. For Africa, you can only use without OTP. For everyone else, you can in India, you can use without OTP and with OTP. And then there are a bunch of customizations that are applicable to specific consent screens. So it's all documented within this scope options itself. So you can just check it out. So and obviously we are there to support you and help you out. So just feel free to reach out to us, and we'll surely love to help you guys. Yes, you can use verification with OTP in India. So you can verify both Truecaller users and non-Truecaller users. And the way we do it is you can essentially verify the non-Truecaller users with a drop call or an OTP. Drop call being the default method. For that, the user needs to give consent to the specific permissions that we require in order to determine whether the call was from one of our verification services or not, and to read that call as well. So we need a call log permission over there. And for OTP, you need to configure your your SMS retriever hash code. And if you do that, we'll auto read the the OTP for you.
All right. Do we have any more questions?
So minimum API is 16 on Android.
Oh, okay, awesome. I don't see if there are any more questions. Okay, someone is asking if the SDK can be used on a web application or on web apps. Is it possible for the Truecaller Flutter SDK to be used on a web application?
Truecaller Flutter is, like I said, it's only available for Android at the moment. But if you want to use mobile web, you can just go ahead and integrate our mobile web solution, which is available on our documentation. So we are there on React, we are there on Flutter, we are there on mobile web, iOS, and Android. Yeah. But yeah, you cannot use Flutter for mobile web.
All right. Okay. Thanks a lot. I'm not sure if there's any other questions. If there's any other question, guys, you can be asking in the chat. Though our time is almost up. So at the moment, I'd love to ask the lead for Flutter Lagos, and as well as Alista from Flutter Zimbabwe to pass their comments, because they did introduce themselves earlier. So over to you, Alista, then we'll go to the lead for Flutter Lagos.
Hi, sorry, Eric. I had just dropped in. If what you said, please repeat. I just heard my name. Sorry.
We are clearing the session. So because you did introduce yourself earlier, so I was giving you the opportunity to introduce the community and yourself as well.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Yes, thank you everyone from the Truecaller team for joining us, and for everybody that joined the session. We really appreciate it. We hope that we'll be able to increase the number of users of Truecaller in Africa, and also make good use of the mobile verification in all of our apps. So yes, introductions at the end, but my name is Alistair. I'm from the Flutter Zimbabwe community, one of the organizers, and I've been collaborating with Eric and the rest of the guys from Flutter Lagos as well to make this event possible so that we can all benefit. I'd like to thank you all for your time.
Thanks, Alicia. And it's been wonderful hosting this session. And it was really great that we could get a chance to actually express our thoughts here and evangelize about Truecaller and the Truecaller SDK. So thanks a lot to you and the entire team, and specifically the collaboration between the Truecaller Flutter community, the Flutter developer community, the Kenya, Lagos, and Zimbabwe. Thanks a lot. And thanks a lot to everyone also for joining and listening us out on a Saturday evening.
Over to you for Lapo.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Olalekon, Lekon for short. That's Lekan, and I'm one of the organizers from Flutter Lagos. So I would like to thank all of the speakers. I'd like to thank the speakers. It was actually really nice, and I'm hoping many of us in the community can begin to use the Truecaller SDK. Yeah, thanks for showing up. And I also like to thank Eric and everyone who was able to help us organize this event. Yeah, thanks everyone. And thanks to everyone for showing up. It was really nice having you guys.
Okay, awesome. So thank you guys for joining today's.
Right. Thanks then. Thank you guys.
All right. I think Eric just went out. Thank you so much, guys, for the amazing session. My name is Kendi. I'm also a co-organizer for Flutter Kenya. It's really an honor to host you guys from Truecaller, and we're hoping to have our community doing more on Truecaller and also getting opportunities from you guys. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Bye, guys.
Sure. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye everyone. Peace out.